Gender quotas in blue-collar jobs are just plain stupid and potentially might contribute to male suicide. Men are 3 times more likely to kill themselves right across the Western world. Women attempt it more, but men are just better at it, unfortunately. They use more violent methods like guns and hanging. They also don't tend to present health services and see people like me. The biggest risk factors are those without a job, experiencing some kind of a relationship breakdown, or with a mental health problem, especially if they use substances like alcohol. Over half of all men who suicide are unemployed or not in the labour force in some form. They might be retired, a carer, or on the disability pension. Unemployed men are nearly 10 times more likely to kill themselves compared to those in jobs. When compared to the fairer sex, unemployed men are 40 times more likely to end their lives than women with jobs. This just shows how the expectation to provide and the identity of a working role are more fundamental for men. If they live in a remote or regional town, the risk is higher even still. So why then would a place like South Australia, and this is in the middle of Australia, bring in 50-50 gender quotas for the police? Why? Because of feminism's misguided priorities. The movement just fails to make any distinctions on class. This is quite a poor state, struggling to provide blue-collar jobs. The last thing it needs to do is bring in policies that penalise ordinary men. The trends don't stop there either. Australian Sex Discrimination Commissioner Kate Jenkins has told the federal government to take disruptive action and force private sector contractors to hire more female workers. It's part of a Human Rights Commission strategy to push 40% female quotas on government contractors in industries like construction, water supply and manufacturing. If such a policy ever occurred, it would disproportionately affect blue-collar men. Now, such statistics must be digested in the current context where underemployment of youth between the ages of 15 and 24 are at an all-time high. Most are stuck in part-time or casual work with few long-term prospects, and these groups are higher risks. And these are just the measurable factors. Think about the broader cultural push to feminise workplaces, like my colleagues in surgery, the military, higher education. On top of that, the news in Australia that male university students in some humanities departments are being schooled in their privilege and advised to be less brash and confident in their answers is a notable example. The underlying prejudice, one that's a pillar of the last half-century progressivism, is that social progress depends upon diluting traditional masculinity from public and occupational life. Males are seen as sexual predators, toxic, who need to be tamed. It's another version of human perfectibility, though we all might be a bit more feminine and civilised. This extends in my work to a cultural script that sends the message to men that they don't have problems, they are problems. The concerns of feminists are usually elite, usually focused on boards and leadership positions. This reflects their own social worlds. Yet one of the most disadvantaged groups are young men with limited skills from regional or outer suburban areas. They're usually white. Any society that can't find meaningful roles for these young men is in trouble. Policies that unashamedly penalise this group are not just wrong, but downright dangerous. Automation and outsourcing make it hard enough to find jobs in the less skilled end of the labour market, but gender quotas are surely the icing on a crap cake. It's excessive to say feminism is causing male suicide, but it'd be wrong to say it's got nothing to do with it. To see more videos like this, subscribe to Rebel Media.